they should be able to hear you. And also my family in the other room.
You still have a gaggle of kids there?
We just kicked the gaggle of kids out. Hey, John Marcus. Thank you, John Marcus. I said last week that I was going to do an extra song for you because I screwed one up. I don't even know. You probably weren't on the stream when I sang. I forget what I sang last week. Hold on, we have to do one here. Just because I've been torturing Maxine with this, I'm going to do this one because she really wants to see cats. Midnight, not a sound from the pavement. Has the moon lost her memory? She is smiling alone. In the lamplight, the withered leaves collect at my feet. And the wind begins to moan. What happened to my glass? Memory, all alone in the moonlight. I can dream of the old days. I was beautiful then. I remember the time I knew what happiness was. Let the memory live again. I like the David Letterman version of that better, by the way. The midnight and the kitties are sleeping. All right, John Marcus, thank you for all your support and all the opportunities to sing there. Thank you for the resub. Thank you, Skeggy Media, for the raid. Let's see. Just checking up on a build. This is not official. Oh, no, we're officially into stream time. Thank you, Elwin Moon, for the sub. Hold on. I'm trying to get the game up here. I was just patching up my GM client. For those of you who are joining the stream here and hadn't logged in today, there is a small patch. This was not like a full integration patch. This was me just grabbing 2 or 3 things I considered critical. One was to turn off the upgrade stuff. That is now off the deed upgrade. We'll probably try that again. That seemed to be pretty good. If you hadn't heard my logic behind that, we always have these whenever we have a sale, crown sale. We always get this really bad hangover afterwards because people buy lots of crowns and they don't spend them. So this was trying to encourage you guys to spend some of those crowns you're buying to reduce the hangover effect we have afterwards. The hangover because a lot of people speculate and buy extra crowns when they're on sale. Duh. But this was trying to get people to spend, not just buy more, but to spend more so that we have less of a hangover once we turn off the sale. Which, by the way, if you hadn't noticed, the sale is still going on. It will be going on until probably till I wake up tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. or whatever. I'd posted we were going to turn it off on, was it Monday? Monday or Tuesday, whatever the first was. And immediately got people yelling at me on privately about how they were out of town. They've not been able to purchase. Please wait until Friday. I had somebody say they wanted to wait until Friday because of paycheck reasons. But anyway, so that's continued until just tomorrow morning. So get on that if you want anything. And I will be turning off the crown sale then tomorrow morning. Oh, Hollyhock. Hollyhock, waiting to spend some quotas on my town. Holly, I have, as people have known, I've had some, if you follow my Twitter, it's basically been a sob story of, oh my God, I hate the build, getting a new build machine set up is horrible. Holly has been patiently, sometimes not patiently, most of the time patiently, waiting for her town. I believe Sanyo has done that. I will make sure that happens. Ravalox and Elgarion are now on stream and have heard me say this, so they'll keep checks on me. And but she's been waiting. He? I don't know if Holly's he. They have been patiently waiting for their town, but I believe that is actually done. I think I just have to integrate those over. This one, I try not to mix. If I have something that's critical and needs to go out, I try not to mix in too many change lists, just because the more stuff you mix in, because you have to, like, I'm basically hand merging a bunch of stuff, increases the risk of it failing. This was already delayed long enough. I didn't want to risk it failing due to extra stuff. But this is done. The QA build is going right now. and hopefully this will be the one that passes. I think for the last week I've said that every time I've said, I've got it, I figured out the magic. And then it fails somewhere slightly further down. This could be the one. Optimism, not super high. But we will see. Oh, you guys can't see the other two people on the stream there. I think I forgot to add the camera on. Give me 1 second, get logged in here. Midnight and the kitties are sleeping downstairs by the heater. It is warmer down there. I think that's like the David Letterman version. Alright, I'm getting logged in there. Let me see if I can figure out how to turn this Skype thing on. Bam. Oh, wait, hold on. I can do there's the 2 corner thing. If I do that, bam, bam. Will that work? Yeah. Oh, there we go. Trying to give you guys equal presentation on the stream. All right, so for those who've been paying attention, we're still in the holiday time. We got a lot of people out. We still have no Star with us on the stream, of course, and usually he's my partner, but I have new partners. I don't need Star because I have in my upper left-hand corner, let's see, I can do this. Right there, I have Ravalox. You want to say hi and introduce yourself so these people know who you are?
Greetings, I am Ravalox. I am floating developer at large.
And hey guys, I'm Elgarion, community manager.
Yeah.
See you.
Hype. Yes, so that's, if you missed that, you guys have seen Ravalox many times before. I'm sure you've seen this guy in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, but you may not have heard him go by that name. So we have a funny story, which if you guys recall last week on a stream, I'd said, make sure, if you're listening to Elgarion, make sure and watch the Friday stream, because there's some stuff for you there. I'm going to do a thing. I didn't give any details. So I was planning on giving him. I have my own special award that people have been begging me to come up with one, which I was planning on giving to Elgarion, because Richard has his stuff, Darkstar has his Chaos thing, got the ONBE stuff, but I believe, Elgarion, I believe you've already got, oh my goodness, thank you very much, Zahn. Thank you. And also, thank you, John Marcus again, and Gwendolyn, and Sean Paxlair, and Zahn times 55,000, whatever. But anyways, I plan on giving Elgarion here the very first award that I have. And in case you're wondering, I bought a 6-pack. Hold on 1 second. Of high quality, the very best Dippy Birds.
Yes.
Yeah. Bought those, found those, tracked them down so I could use them as my reward. My thing was just going to be that I send those out as that's long been a symbol of mine, has been the Dippy Bird, but also it's kind of the balance and the trying to get the balance right, which is a Dippy Bird's balance is always off. So that always was kind of my symbol. But anyways, I was planning on giving that to Elgarion last Friday. Well, last Friday I didn't have a list written out. Star wasn't there, so my head wasn't together. And I forgot to do it. And I was like, no biggie, I'll do it the next Friday. So this week, was it Monday? I think it was Monday I did streaming. Started to do streaming. And people immediately jumped into my stream and said, you've got to stop streaming and go raid Elgarion. It's his final stream. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's final stream of the decade for me, too. And they said, no, final stream. He's got to get a job, so he's fine. So anyway, so that's where this started. And then, what is it now, 4 days later? And welcome our new employee, Elgarion. He needed a job. They couldn't stream anymore because he needed his beer money and he needed to do, what do you got, like some other renovations going on down there?
Yep, got some electrical coming in.
So anyways, just needed a little bit more there. And looked around, we've never had much great luck with the community manager guy. That when we've tried to go and find somebody and turn them into a community manager. But Elgarion has been, for a long time, has been a community manager and more in a lot of different ways in terms of, his streaming and always giving back to the community and all the other ways he helps with his websites and just the helping of other people. Looked at it and it's like, surely we can figure out a way to make this work. And so here we are. I think officially you're not on the clock yet. This doesn't count. You're not working, so you're welcome to leave at any time. I think Monday is when we said you were starting. But
good. Yep.
You can log these hours for next week if you want. But anyways, here we are. So you want to introduce yourself for the 5 or 6 people out there who have no idea who you are?
Yeah, definitely. Well, Elgarion or Rick Hart. It's great to be here. I've been playing the game now for, I guess, getting close to 7 years now. I've been streaming for the last 2 years to the last month on the channel called Legion of Myth. And now I'll be streaming on this channel. And it is the official second channel for Shroud of the Avatar called Community of the Avatar. That Sanyo came up with that one. Really, really nice title for it. And I'm going to need some feedback, guys. If you click over to that channel, the 6 panels of information down there at the bottom, kind of look it through, check out all the links and stuff. I got a lot more information. Maybe I can talk Chris and them into put some of that information over onto the main site as well. But that's kind of what I was working on today. And but it's great to be here, and I've got a lot of different contact information on that page. But best way was send a conversation to Elgarion on the forums. I'll do my best to help you out. But thanks for the welcome.
Yeah, and thanks for joining us, and hopefully this will be your dream job. And I know you said you of course, I'm sure half jokingly, but if it's half jokingly, then it's half true, that you said you're doing this for beer money. So I started writing you an email saying just so you know, we're not allowed to drink on the job or whatever, but I couldn't figure out how to make it even seem remotely serious based on our past history. For those people who are newer on the stream, there was, up until about 2 years ago, we would drink on every stream and be drunk to the point. Star's been the only one who actually got sick on stream. I forget what it was, but he did something where, buy something and he'll take a shot or whatever, and he's the only one who's ever gotten sick on stream. He also passed out on the stream when we were doing the drawing the blood thing, if you guys remember that. He can't stand the sight of his own blood. So he may talk the chaotic, evil knight thing, but not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to go sit down, so... Anyways, welcome, Elgarion. I know, again, based if things go as well with you as it has with Ravalox up there, I have no doubts. Usually my question has been, for someone like you, I worry about not whether or not your awesome will work out, just whether or not, again, how well you will handle seeing the sausage made, as they say, getting the behind the scenes side of stuff. So let's see. Dark and Obscure, he passed out before the stream. That might be right. I do know he passed out on that when we were doing the blood. He didn't actually pass out, but he got dizzy and had to sit down, and we had to leave him alone, and someone was over there fanning him, fanning Darkstar. See, it's fun. This is the way you make people show up for streams, is you make fun of them if they're not on the stream. See? We'll see how that works. I may have 2 chat bots going at once. Yes, I do. Let me kill one of my chat bots. Let's see. We can do the normal raffle thing. Does anybody remember what the word of the day is? What was the phrase last time? I didn't change the phrase, so it's going to be the same.
The weather outside is frightful.
The weather outside is frightful, yes. So if you're watching the stream, you've got to do the weather outside is frightful. Don't do it in chat here. That's pretty much the only place we don't grab is chat in here. You can do it in-game in any way, or you can go buy something. Reminder, the crowns are still on sale until tomorrow morning. But yes, it is the weather outside is frightful. But I'll do that drawing in 1 minute. And we'll just do whatever prizes we had last time because I'm lazy. Star normally does that stuff. But we're gonna just so you guys know, just as we've evolved both the team and also the project and how we do things and trying to stay flexible and all that stuff, we'll probably be evolving how we do our Friday streams. We may not be doing the same stuff we've been doing before. We may be doing some like, hey, if Elgarion, if Elgarion, I got a gesture, except you can't see my gesture. If Elgarion wants to do a Friday stream, we may just let him do the Friday stream and have him host, because I'm going to be setting up our stuff to auto-host him anytime he's on. And also prizes is another one that, there's a time, I think the prize stuff kind of dates back because we have if you go and buy something in the store or say whatever in game, it's kind of back when like the only way to buy stuff was in the store, and now like pretty much people buy one set of crowns and they buy 50 items in game or whatever. Wizard Smoke 13, what? Is that our Wizard Smoke? We'll see if he stopped in there. Oh no, that is Wizard Smoke. He just followed. But anyway, so that kind of doesn't make as much sense now, because you guys might be buying stuff, but you're buying it in the Crown store. So we really kind of need to have it either be like buy something in the Crown store. Maybe that's what I'll do. I can go and update that Python script for the data it's pulling. I can make it so you buy something in the game, or you buy crowns, or you say whatever. But anyways, we may be changing some of that going forward, just because again, the buying it in the store doesn't necessarily make sense. Let me go ahead and do that thing. Does anyone want to play the part of Star and yell at me for not having the thing drawn yet? Anybody? Elgarion, can you do a good Star impersonation of you? Let's see. Chris, have you done the drawing yet?
Put me on the spot there.
Oh, that's right. Thank you very much, Lace. Thank you very much for the reminder. And guys, can you tell me how many ways you can win? Wow. Come on. My two new employees. You're supposed to, this is the gag. Oh, that's it. We're done. We're done here. We're done here. All right, let's see if this thing worked. Live streams. Yes, it did. Oh, watch this. Elgarion, would you like to read out the prize winners?
Ooh, how do I do that? Where are you going to post it?
Hold on, I'll add you there. Add them to the channel. Bam, you've been added to the channel. I think you can see it now. This is if you look in our
the internal chat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's called Mattermost, is the thing we do use because we're too cheap to pay for Slack. Actually, it's kind of a two combo thing. One is we're cheap, too cheap to play or pay for Slack, and we kind of also want to have a lot of people we can add in there, not have to feel like we're paying $10 a month for this guy who uses it like once every month or something like that. But then the other thing is we've got a couple of security paranoid people on the team who are like, I don't want Slack having my data. All right, did you find it yet?
Yep, I got it.
All right.
So the first prize goes to Gaunt Trueblade. It's a Cordovan harp.
That's Gayan.
Gayan
Trueblade.
Okay.
This is good.
Ozzy Questor gets an ornate marching band shirt and hat. Thumper Ator gets a 5-piece one-man band. And let's see here. Luna Moon gets the ornate grand piano. And Scarface, a.k.a. Skeggy, gets a large fancy pavilion.
Well done, Skeggy. All right, we'll do another drawing here in about another 27 minutes. Since this wasn't really an official stream, we didn't really plan anything out ahead of time. We'll try and get some more streams that are planned and have a theme to them. We didn't want to do like a fishing contest or something, but we have a document that I had been working on, at least I've been pulling in. I've got a bunch of documents that I'm trying to pull together into one vision. I'm calling it, because like I'm going to be the only one using this joke this year. I'm calling it Shroud 2020 Vision. Huh? Get it? See? Get it? Yeah, like I said, everybody in the world is going to be using that same gimmick. So, but I'm using it now. But I want to talk about it. It's really just kind of talking about going forward what our plans are, how we plan to grow the game, how, what big things might be changing in the game, and then of course the stuff you really care about, because you'll probably scan past all that point and look for the bullet points for what crap am I getting and when. Again, I'm kind of the one who pushed Star to do less in terms of really formalizing, like putting out a formal, here is what we are doing this, R73, and here's what we're doing R74, and here's what we're doing R75, because we always did horrible on them. And worse, I think it actually hurt the product sometimes because we were so tied to that, because we felt obliged to do that because there were players looking forward to it, that sometimes we didn't do the right thing, that, new things had come up that we felt were more important once we really got into them, or lower hanging fruit, or, just really need to be done. But we avoided doing them because we'd already put out this, like, here's our statement of what we're doing. Then there's other times like, we'll put out something, then we just get to it and people are like, I don't know if that makes sense that's really what we want to do. Oh, and also you guys can play the part of thanking people if you want to bail me out there. I know Catherine Rose, I saw. Thank you, Catherine Rose, and Ragnar Lodbrock, and Red Hammers, and Taiki. Thank you. Those were bits for Elgarion, of course. This is great because you mentioned you wanted to get a job with this so you could afford beer while you stream. Which there's a lot of people out there who give money to List just so he can afford beer. Try and buy him beer. And Party of One, thank you for the raid. Wizard Smoke, why have you not followed? Ragnar Lodbrock and also Sestra4, thank you guys all for the bits and the support and the follows. But anyway, so I was kind of the one who pushed for not doing the long-term vision-specific stuff, which I think, especially when I pushed them to do that, it was more painful because we were adjusting. We were trying to change so many different things. It really was damaging to the product. I think now we kind of have a better, clear idea of where we're going, though, and I wanted to at least get some aspirational items out there for you. So that's what this list really is this is kind of the... At this point in time, here's what we're thinking we're going to do for 2020 and where we're going for 2020. Just to kind of give you some ideas. Now, again, some things will still be mixed around. Hey, thank you very much, Serial Kid. Some things will still be shuffled around, and we may get to some of these things and say, you know what, that doesn't make sense anymore. Or, that's just not going to be worth the effort when we can do, 10 things that are worth the effort in the same amount of time. But I just want to give you guys at least some type of vision. So I'm not ready to present the whole document. As the guys on the team know, I've got some pretty firm stuff in there, and then I've got some pretty much Q3 and Q4 stuff that I'm still copying over and just have some vague bullet points on that I need to clean up some. And I'm getting some feedback on people right here, as I just saw. I got about 10 more pieces of feedback. But yeah, anyway, so I did want to go over at least like some Q1 stuff just because that's feeling fairly reasonable in terms of like we know what we're doing. We're pretty confident in it, and it also is pretty exciting. Again, this is we always have the people who are worried about content, bring stuff in. Anyway, so let's just talk about some of the things that are coming in. So the big stuff that's coming in is going to be for the Q1 stuff. Was supposed to be by the end of this year, but again, holidays, the nasty flu that still has Travis down, and I'm still going to cough at least 1 or 2 times during the streams. I'm still recovering from it, and a few others as well. But the episode 2 overworld map, we expect to get that ready by the end of January to the point that people can start moving in. End of January being the next release. And thank you very much, Ragnar Lodbrock. And also Nefrina and Dices. But anyway, so that's one you already knew about that. That's no big shocker. There's another one that you guys know about, and I'm working on as soon as I get QA working. Hopefully I can get a build out to you guys next week that has this stuff in it. It's going to be the Bard skill tree. So what you'll see in the new year coming up is there's going to be a lot of new skill tree and a lot of new skills coming into... Actually, there's not going to be a lot of new skill trees. The Bard is the only one that is currently a new skill tree. The rest are going to be new skills in the existing trees. That basically is going to be... For most trees, it'll be 1 additional skill and then 1 additional tier 6 skill. Or 1 tier 6 skill. But those will be coming in the new year as well. But the Bard skill tree is one of the ones that's going to be coming. This is a completely new skill tree. Right now it has 9 skills in it, and hoping to get that should be going live, at least in some form, for end of January. Hoping to get it on QA well before that, though, so you guys can look forward to that. And that is pretty much what it sounds like, which is skills that work with musical instruments and make you look silly. Possibly annoy your party. I guess I should be talking to you guys some more too here, since I got you guys on stream here. Either of you guys play bards in other games, or any like EverQuest guys or Lotro guys or anything?
Well, Lotro, I did the minstrel. That was my main character, but it was really just, spells you were casting. It didn't really feel very bardy.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one of the challenges I'm running into too, is trying to make it feel like it's more bard-like. That's for the instruments we had, where you had to actually play music, was one of the things that was trying to make sure I reproduced that, which right now I'm not.
Does a bard's tale count?
No, absolutely not. But anyways, that's going to come out in the first release of the year, and then we will be expanding on that, probably and polishing on that. I know a lot of people are excited about that, and especially a lot of the musician types out there. I'm looking at you, Snugsy One and Taiki and some of the others. But anyways, next bullet point on the list is going to be, I'm now calling it the Halls of Balance. This is a new scene. I probably won't have it ready for January just because I've got so much other stuff on my plate for January. It's probably going to be a February release. But Halls of Balance is the Challenge Dungeon 2.0. For those who know the old days, I think it used to be called Chilblains. Chilblains Compendium of Pain and Suffering. And I want to come up with a different name from that. That was kind of just a silly name from the old days. So Halls of Balance is what I was calling this. And the reason I call it Halls of Balance is Mr. Balance Guy is I'm trying to bring back the original purpose of the Challenge Dungeon, which was not just a place for you guys to go and have fun and feel like, there's something challenging here, but it's also so I can help identify what the limits are for players and for different play styles. It'll be very similar to the first one in that it's a linear dungeon. One of the things I've already started looking at is actually allowing for some branches in areas, and this is mainly because there's some things, like if I make something that is a highly magic resistant, I want to give you the option to go either the highly magic resistant or the highly melee resistant guy if there's something you prefer. Maybe there's one branch that is undead and I want to have the other one that's not undead, because then there's some cases where Death Mage is just, he has no chance, even though he should be able to get further, he's not going to be able to get any further. But anyways, just trying to allow for some of those things. So I am trying to make it branching where you get to choose an A or B. We'll see if I actually get that in there. It may not be worth it. But this is also one that it's going to be, again, I'm going with my original plan, which never really panned out, which was the make it so it is difficult enough so you can't get by, no one can get by the first X number of rooms, and there's always 5 rooms no one can get to. That's what it should always be. But my plan with this one is, if that is not the case and people are able to pretty easily tear through it, and it's not challenging, it doesn't kill you, then I'm going to go back and probably add some more rooms to it. Oh, nice. So that's the Halls of Balance. Again, this is one that it's going to come with some titles, and that's probably going to be one that it'll have its own leaderboard. That is basically, who's gotten the furthest, who's made it, in the shortest time. That's what the leaderboard will be. It'll be sorted by the furthest room, and then also the tiebreaker for the shortest room will be the amount of time it takes to get through. That'll show up as one of the new leaderboards, just like we have now with some of the other things. But again, this is being used as a balancing tool. This is really so we can try and figure out how to beat you guys. Something you can't expect is a lot of these rooms, rather than the first one was kind of a lot of small rooms back to back to back. This will probably be a lot of big rooms that are fairly spaced out. So just because, again, the strategies you use in small rooms is different from big rooms, so trying to figure things out. But anyways, you can look forward to that coming. That will probably be in February. Let's see, I missed it. Elgarion's definitely looking rather Nordic. Yep. Yep. I'll agree with that. Jesper Dalen, more dungeon pieces. Yes. Oh, fail. Oh.
Dang it.
Put $1 in the bucket.
Pro streamer.
Let's see. More dungeon pieces from Jesper Dalen. Yes, the plan is to, again, when I'm making these things, to make sure that this will be the first real dungeon room type dungeon I've made since we had a dungeon system. I'm planning on making sure each room is going straight into dungeon pieces. Let's see. See people doing stuff there. Oh, and thank you, Ragnar Lodbrock, again for the 100 bits. Oh, and they say they want to hear you sing a song, Elgarion.
I don't think anyone asked for that.
No, really. If you look,
pretty sure that didn't happen.
Ragnar Lodbrock too says,
50 people asked for that.
Woot, I want
Absolutely.
to hear Elgarion sing us a song.
So.
All right. Not on your, it's not even your first day yet. We'll let you wait a little while.
All right, there you go. I don't start work until Monday, so.
Yeah, this isn't official. He's just hanging out here.
All right.
Although I did pay you, because I sent him like $5 for beer money for
Well, that is true.
to test to make sure he was on the payroll and that was working. Let's see. Next up in Q1, I think this is another one. Most of these things will not surprise you. The things we've been talking about you guys for a while here. Oh, another 100 from Elrond who wants you to sing. So there you go. That may be your day one singing. You got to practice up on your singing voice. Let's see. Major Combat Balance Pass. This will be Q1. This is one that's long overdue. There's going to be a lot of, a fair number of changes. This is going to include some of the stuff I've been wanting to do for a while, like the stun balance changes, some more root balance changes, some of those things. Again, when I'm doing these things, I'm always looking at PvE and PvP and trying to make sure I don't break either one, and I'm paying attention to both. Oh, looks like it's now official there. John Marcus just gave you 1337 bits for a song, Elgarion. And Shade Bedlam, thank you for the 300 bits. Thank you. But again, this is one that is going to be, some of it will come just from things I already know, some of it will come from the Hall of Balance, but there's going to be a major balance pass. Again, what's the saying? The can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. So there will be some screams and cries of horror because sometimes balance does not always mean that we lift everything up to the highest level, which is usually what people request, is don't nerf X, Y, or Z. Instead, make everything else as powerful as that. Which, of course, in most of those cases would be like, really, you think we should lift everything up so it can one-shot players? That's how we balance things? But anyway, so Major Combat Balance Pass. Another one that is on the list. Currently, this one is probably in March. It'll be the March scene, most likely. Will be currently working title Prospector's Canyon. This is a new mine scene. I'm sure the miners will be happy about that. Although this is one trying things a little bit different. Rather than our typical one, people talk about a mine. They're really talking about a dungeon that has ore in it. And this is really a canyon that has ore in it. But just giving it a very different flavor and a different feel. And allowing for some different stuff. But anyways, it will feel very much in terms of if you put a roof over it, probably will feel kind of like, you're in a dungeon. It's going to be a branching canyon. Probably with some loops that's just a very ore-heavy canyon. Again, trying to change up a few things and make things feel a little cooler. Vulcan Jedi, 100 bits. Hey, who's the new guy? I'm going to guess that he's just kidding and knows who you are. But for those who did get in late, that guy is Elgarion. He is our new community manager. You may have heard of him. And you guys are free to jump in on any of this stuff if you have any feedback or want to do the color commentary there. I know I'm talking and I'm trying to do play the part of Star here, where I talk nonstop and you guys are playing the part of me where I just kind of kick back and see how long I can go without talking. But feel free to jump in on any of this stuff.
Okay.
Let's see. But yeah, so Prospector's Canyon will be a mining scene. Not necessarily a mine, but a mining scene that hopefully will be more of a, the top tier mining scene. There will also be the risk strategies. There's probably going to be some things, some wandering patrols that come through there, as other things are also down there. But again, trying to make sure that it is both more rewarding, slightly more rewarding than the most rewarding scene in episode 1, but also slightly more dangerous than the most dangerous mine in episode 1. Let's see, and then I'll get to some questions here in a minute once I get through these things. I'm sure some questions may come out of these, but I'm sure you guys have also asked a ton of questions already, which I should probably throw up. Let me finish that sentence. I should probably throw up the list of questions so that these guys can see it. Don't actually need to throw up. Let's see. And actually, I'll just paste them to the live stream channel, which is a horrible way to do it. That's how I roll. There you guys go. If you want to check any of those out and have answers for those. That's it. You guys go pick out answers for those things while I talk and babble here. Go look on the stream channel, the live stream channel in chat. Let's see. Oh, this is one also you guys know about, which is player-written branching dialogue trees for NPCs using the Ink markup language. This is, in case you guys haven't seen it, it's Inky. I think it's like some part of it's called Ink, some part is Inky, and then Inkly, I think maybe it's Inkle Studios. It's also confusing. But anyways, that guy who subscribed a few minutes ago or followed us a few minutes ago, Wizard Smoke, is making some good progress on that. I won't put him on the spot and say when it will be ready, but soon, very soon. He's actually talking with them. There's some features we're trying to get in there that aren't technically supported and aren't officially supported by them, but they've been awesome in terms of helping them out with some stuff and working with them. We're trying to do some of the stuff. The big thing I think that we found that it doesn't do that we want to do. There's other ways we can do it if it doesn't work out this way, but the thing we want to do is we want to make sure all their stuff is made so you can compile it and bake it at runtime, do checks. It doesn't really support a runtime baker. So it's more meant to be more of a baking process that happens when you're making the app, not when you're adding content on the fly. So we're trying to get that working on the fly because we want to make sure you guys can just upload your dialogue. You can test it yourself too to make sure it's all working. But when you upload it, we want to make sure that we can compile it on our end and have that working and submit working code. And that's the part where we need to be able to bake that stuff in advance. But anyways, he's working with them on it. If he's on here, he can chime in and chat. Or someday maybe we could get him on stream. Maybe not. I think he may have been on a stream once or twice ever. Same thing. I don't know. I think Damon was on one stream one time, and then we got off the stream, and he was like, "Why was I on that stream? I didn't have anything to talk about." So that's how they get out of being on the stream, right? Wizard Smoke. All right, he's not playing along with me. But anyways, that is one of the very exciting things, and of course we'll get that in a version that'll match what they have, and then our plans are to continue to expand on that with some more features. Mixing that in, there's going to be some quest stuff we can do. I mean, a lot of it's going to be extra features that feel, that just work with it. It's not going to be necessarily tacked onto it. It's going to be additional features that you guys need to allow for RPG events and for creating your own quest. Some of the early stuff that'll probably be added on is probably adding tags so that you can do add, the dude says the dialogue, and if you say whatever, okay, well, let's start that off by having him do an emote so he can, nod as he's talking or whatever. But anyways, that's going to be one that'll continue to be expanded after this first revision. Did you say anything yet? Nope. All right. This next one is one that you guys have known is coming, and it's also I put it in our Q1 just because I'm going to be doing a big pass on it in Q1. But it's actually going to be a lot. It's going to be a whole year process, and really just changing things up as we move forward for how we do things going forward, which is improving our loot and rewards. So this is for those who haven't really heard, players have been in the game a long time and talked. It's pretty much the number one concern we have from quality players out there. I think I actually saw Sean Paxlair was out there, and some of the other packs, some other people out there were like they've expressed this. Others have expressed this. Just the ongoing concern of we have a lot of cool things about the game, but one of the things we really miss out on is the kind of the loop of I want to be able to get together with my friends, go adventure for 4 hours, and at the end of that 4 hours come back and feel like I've gained something. I want to feel like there's at least some chance that I'm going to gain something. And for a lot of the players, it just the loot is not at a place where that happens. We've made some small improvements. Some of the things we've kind of made to nudge it in the right direction, like the artifacts that used to feel more worthless, now they feel a little more valuable because, you may find one in a thing and it's like that may not be worth something, but, at least there's a reason to save it because then you can combine that later on and make an even better something or another, or continuing to make those type of improvements. There's going to be some major loot overhauls. This will probably be at least some of it will happen in January. Some will be happening in February. I had made a firm this is going to happen in January. But really the balance and the loot stuff is going to be happening in January, February. And really I want to get the challenge dungeon out to you guys as early. Challenge Dungeon 2.0, Halls of Balance. I want to get that out as early in February as I can, at least on QA, so you guys can start testing stuff. Because again, a lot of the loot reward and also the skill balance, I want to make sure that those meet the Halls of Balance lives up to that. So, but anyways, this will be something that we continue to improve on. Some of this stuff is not even, you guys are probably think more items and more drops and more. That type of stuff. Some of it's not even that type of thing. Some of it's improving the sell value for items that players have crafted based on the bonus on them to encourage players to sell them back to merchants versus just scrap them. And if you're wondering how that improves loot, well, it probably doesn't improve loot for some of the high level people out there, but it improves loot for everybody below you. Because a lot of times some of the cool drops you get are finding somebody else's gear, and especially for low level people entering the game, a lot of the good stuff they'll find will be from crafted by other players. We want to expand that, but right now we kind of have the problem of that list that we keep of thousands of items does not get filled with good loot because there's not a good incentive to do it. We need to increase the gold value. We still want to make sure that you never make a profit from what you craft by selling it to a merchant, because then it turns into, again, a very strong loop of we're just encouraging just to craft crap just to sell it, and that's how you make money. And it's also very bot friendly too. But we need to increase that value some so that it's at least feels like there's a point in selling it. Comments from the Peanut Gallery? All right.
Loot. Yes. Definitely been wanting some good loot. Oh my gosh, yes. So looking forward to that.
Yep. Yeah, and for both of you guys, this is, of course, you now get to be on the other side, is probably more so for you, Elgarion, is you've kind of been on the side of, pointing out the problems or, working with people or explaining stuff to people how to work around. Now you got to be on the other side of you got to, let's talk about fixing it, what we're really doing to fix it, and explain it to players how we're fixing it. Other stuff that will be coming on is Q1 is going to be, hopefully we'll get the tiered subscription options out to you guys. This will be so players who want to give more and they just have one account, they can do more. But this is also because we do have some players every once in a while. There's at least one or two players who I'll wake up and I actually watch to see rewards program rewards programs numbers, and when you unsubscribe, I usually see an email saying so and so canceled payments towards the rewards program, and I shed a little tear, and I was like, farewell, Tom, Jimmy, John 3 at AOL.com. We will miss you. I don't do that, but I do. If it's somebody I know, like, I actually get a little sad. But there's a bunch of these guys, and I've learned that a lot of them, when I usually know their names, it's usually someone they'll cancel for whatever reason. You guys do this, but you'll cancel and you'll restart it. But there's a couple of people who, like, cancel. They have like 9 or 12 accounts, and they'll cancel them all. So I'll get up and look at the canceled rewards program. I'm like, no, 12 people canceled overnight. And then I look, and it's like, it's one dude. And then the next, 3 days later, I'll get up and it'll be like, yeah, 12 people subscribed. And of course, it's just the same dude changing his account. So
yeah, that's updating credit cards. That's that thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what their magic or what their reasons is, but it seems to happen. Some people do it like every single month. So I know it can't just be a change in the credit card stuff. And it happens enough that I've seen them and I know them, and it's all good. But anyways, this will give some of those guys options so that they don't have to run the 12 accounts or whatever. And we appreciate every one of you, even the guys who stressed me out with your canceling and re-adding yourself to the rewards program. Let's see. So another one this can kind of be the announcement. This is one that Ravalox and I have been talking a little bit about, and I've already mentioned it to the person who I'm probably going to be putting in charge of it in the community. I haven't seen him chime in here yet. He may not be watching, so he may not even know we're talking about this. So we did something a while back, which is we had a map system. So for the history, we never had a map system. Then this superfan made a system called Soda Maps. Those are actually pretty cool. That worked pretty well. The appearances that worked pretty well, and got content and made a ton of maps for it. But then he was going to be leaving the community, and we didn't want the Soda Maps to go away. We didn't want that to go away. So we actually worked out a deal with him where we took over Soda Maps from him, and we ran it. And again, we still had it. We integrated it into the game, so there's actually a window for it. And then let's see, what's the rest of the history in that? Well, one, it's pretty slow. Some of that was just due to how we're hosting it on the website of things. And then two, we kept being told by Unity that the plugin we were using to render that inside of Unity was what was causing our crashes. So we had this big incentive to remove it. One, slow. Two, difficult to maintain because no one really understood the system and didn't want to spend a lot of time with it. But anyways, long story short, we basically, as I continue to try to move forward and bring more community help and to do things, just because you guys are passionate and honestly have shown a lot of times you do better jobs than we do. And also, this is one that was a little bit triggered by Undone is splitting his time more, and he's spending more time he has, and this is one of those things we've been open with all along. He works on a game of his own, as well as helping us out on Shroud occasionally. But he was the one who was kind of shepherding that, and even his opinion is that this is the best decision. So the big announcement is that we're going to be turning Soda Maps back over to the players. I will be hosting it. I will come up with a host that'll be a give us the map to Lua. That would be fabulous, Devil Cult. Devil Cult says he'll handle it in Lua. So that's going to be Devil Cult. If you want to, that's going to be one of the things we're going to do. But we're going to be opening up the map. We're going to be putting the map content out for you, exposing a lot of that stuff to you. Anybody who wants to get involved with it, we're going to set up our own server that you can use. We'll use to host the data. Devil Cult, if you have a way you want to, if you think you can, with just a few more things from me, in terms of the Lewis stuff, obviously I put Lewis stuff on hold. That I kind of got to a mostly working level that was lets you guys do some fun stuff, but it's not full featured yet. But anyways, so we're going to be turning back Soda Map back over to the players. We will host it, and right now probably Apple Rust is going to be the guy who will kind of manage things behind it. And we're going to turn it back over to you guys and have you guys drive a lot of that stuff so that you can get some of those features back in. We're going to turn on the integration in the client of the renderer that'll let us render the website, let us render that stuff, and put that back in your hands. It'll be back to the more full feature than what we had. Hopefully not as slow as it was. We're going to be making sure we've got it on a server that's actually got fast hardware, SSD drives and heavy memory and everything else we can do to get it as responsive as possible. Moving it off of our own servers that were already kind of bogged down and not necessarily in the best locations just due to some security stuff that didn't need to be secure, but other stuff needed to be secured, so we had to put them in some more secure places, even though there's no private information that really goes into SodaMap. But anyway, so we'll be working on that. That'll be in Q1 that we're going to turn that back over to you guys. We will be getting that back to you. And let's see, how far are we behind? Thank you to Anonymous for the gifted sub. Thank you again to Nefrina and Vulcan Jedi and Shade Bedlam. Thank you, Ragnar Lodbrock. And thank you, Beldernick, for the follow. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
And is it time for prizes?
Yes, it is past time for prizes. We're almost at the end of the stream. So far past prizes. Who wants to read it out this time? Ravalox, you want to be my sidekick here? And
Sure.
okay, I just put it on the queue there. Oh, let me check to see how the QA build's going. Ooh, we're to the part that fails. We'll know in 40 minutes if I manage to fix it. For those who don't know, while I stall here for time while we wait for that thing to go. Oh, it's queued. Let me see. I may have to bump it to the top of the queue. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my. Hold on. Yeah, it was at the bottom of the queue. It wasn't going to start for 38 minutes. Okay. Now it says less than 5. I was going to tell the saga while we wait for this thing to actually give us some names. I've been working on the QA build, so there's been a ton of progress. I got our internal dev builds working on the new system right away, much, much faster. I've been running into some problems with the QA builds, which have a lot more, a bunch of extra steps to them, because basically we have to build one version of it, and then we take that and convert it and turn it into the player version of it, take the GM version, convert it into the player version, and we have to do a bunch of extra stuff, like we have to publish to Steam. We have to, build torrents, and that's all stuff that doesn't happen internally on our dev version. So I got the dev version stuff working pretty quick. The QA version's been the painful one, also because there's not a good way to shortcut steps and do some quick testing. But I think I'm getting close. This is going to be the time. 28% chance probability here that this will work. But anyways, the good news is the old builds, to get from I clicked the button to it's ready to upload to our torrent box, was right at 6 hours. 5 hours and 47 minutes was the last view I saw. The new one, to get from the same state to that one, is 2 hours and 34 minutes. And I know some more stuff I can cut off of that. So anyways, cutting it more than in half, which means that our turnaround time, and in case you're wondering why should you guys care about this, this is part of the promise I've been making to you guys, that we're going to leave the QA server up at all times, and we're also going to, rather than doing what I just had to do this morning because we don't have this process working, we're going to be pushing, before we push stuff live, it's going to go to the QA. QA will always be at least as fresh as live. Right now we have the problem that QA, why would you play on QA? Because it's actually stale. There's actually some newer stuff on live than there is on QA. So we want QA to always be our freshest, and we want to be able to iterate on it more quickly. And there's other reasons too, including stuff like, hey, if we have some emergency, some horrible bug gets out there that, everything in the world turns pink, or here's some crazy exploit where, piercing shot does 1,200 points of damage or something like that. Oh wait, it already does do that. But anyways, we can get a patch out quick for you guys. Did I stall long enough? Is it up yet?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
It's up there.
All right.
All right, so we have some prizes to give out. And Deathstalker is the winner of a Cordovan harp. And ornate marching band shirt and hat goes to Dugan Redhammer.
Yeah, Dugan.
Vero is the winner of a 5-piece one-man band.
Oh, wait, this one looks rigged. Can you change that last name to something else? All right, read them out.
The ornate grand piano goes to Merzilka. And Minerva is the winner of a large fancy pavilion.
Rigged.
Your prizes will be distributed sometime in the next decade.
That is accurate. Hey, I've been pretty good. I think I might be caught up. I think I did actually catch up on one. But anyways, let's see. So we got about 6 minutes left here. Oh, it hasn't failed yet. I'm watching the QA build. Let me see if there's anything else. So some sneak peek stuff for Q2. I'll mention a few things there. Again, I've got a long list of my bullet point list that I've been making for basically a year of stuff that I'm slowly moving into this document. And while Q1 is pretty full, Q2 is kind of half full. Q3 and 4 is kind of some more vague stuff, but some big stuff like, hey, guess what? Mounts. That's one that I do believe is important to get out there for episode 2. I think it's one that it isn't just about faster movement or that stuff. I mean, it's actually important for role playing and stuff like that. But I'll mention one that I looked at and kind of broke down myself that I did kind of one of my own little discovery writings things for. That's one of things that's a passion of Richard's, which is he was very happy about this, this is from like one of the early things he had, which is a theater system. So I started writing down, like, if I were a player, what would I want in a theater system? Kind of what I started looking at is, and not just writing like, I want to have a theater system and invite people over to see stuff. That can be the big question you're trying to answer is, what does that mean to players? But anyways, as I started breaking it down, really what the theater system turned into was a number of things. We could have just like here we're gonna like put a theater that you can craft or we sell in the Crown store that you can place on a in your town, and that's it, and that's all it is. But really what I looked when I started breaking down the stuff that we wanted was there's some things that could be used anywhere. That's really, we just need to have a bunch of tools and we can let players craft whatever they want to out of it. And some of those things are like silence zones. Some of them are more ways that you can have donations to players. Some of them being able to charge admission type stuff. Some of it is like exclusion zones. So you can imagine you have a stage and you only want the players on the actors on the stage, and being able to put up a zone that basically is transparent and visible, but will only allow certain players to go through it. So it's a bunch of these type of little tools that are the pieces for it. Now that's taking those pieces and putting them all together. You can make the theater system that Richard has always wanted. But when we look at these things, there's no reason these things need to be exclusive to theater. There's a lot of other places we could have this type of stuff, like having like that exclusion stuff. Like, these guys are always doing like arena battles or whatever, and having it so you can set an exclusion zone, so only these guys can be in the arena at a time. That type of stuff is kind of important. But anyway, so that's another one that's hopefully going to be in Q2. Breaking it down into the chunks. I think we can get most of the chunks we need. Obviously, you guys can do theater stuff right now. This is just ways that we can help you improve that theater system and improve what you have going on there. Yes, President of the Earth. President of the Earth says, fix avatars bouncing up and down when walking near an edge. I don't know what you're talking about. We fixed that 3 times, man. At least 3 times we fixed that. But yes, we do need to fix it a 4th. I will make sure that is one that one and only is the guy behind, and he's Taiki. I know we haven't fixed it. It's been marked fixed 3 or 4 times. It has not really been fixed. One and only has taken multiple stabs at it. It is not a trivial problem to fix, though. But anyways, one and only is still in New Hampshire. I always try to put him in Vermont, but he's a New Hampshire guy, not a Vermont guy, with his new daughter. But I believe he is going to be coming. He may be back. He may be headed back. I think he's coming back this week. But anyways, they'll be back soon, and he'll be able to get back to work on stuff. and he has been, just because I've been doing a poor job of assigning stuff to him. He has just been saying, "You haven't given me enough tasks. I'm stealing yours and fixing your bugs." So hopefully I can give him the bouncing one again. He'll be so happy about it. He has so much fun working on that one. And he can get that fixed. But yeah, there's a bunch of those type things. But really, that's just trying to point out, like, the theater system. A lot of these things we're going to be working on. That's kind of an example of one of those tasks that forever we've just had it as this monolithic theater system with no definition. And this is also why, like I talk about, like, when we put stuff on a schedule, okay, that's great. But then we may get to the task and we break it down. And it's like, okay, this task is actually, this big theater system monolithic task is really like a dozen smaller tasks. Let's figure out which ones we can do and which ones are the best bang for the buck. Get those things in there and try to get it actually out anyways. Elron, King of Elves, asks, any good news for PvP? So the best news for PvP is, and there is the, I'm looking, I'm trying to remember where I have it right now. The queue system is on there as well. Expansion for looking for group system to include queue features. No news is good news. Bad Devil Cult. No. But yes, there is going to be some expansion to the looking for group system to actually include, like, same UI, that there will be a way that you can queue for things. There'll also be ways that we'll have that basically will add up there rather than it being looking for a party. But that's one that is on Q2. I know that's important to a lot of people. I just didn't see any way we could fit it into Q1 with all the other things we already had on there. Let's see. Will you add a sale on vendors setting? Oh, that's interesting. And yes, raids is obviously another one that's going to be coming up. And again, the raids will be more, I've mentioned this before, I don't think the tech is that hard. It's just one of those things, finding time to sneak it in there is extremely important to us. That is another one, though, that right now, having raids is really, honestly, the place where raids are important right now is it's important to PvP. People are trying to do greater than 8-on-8 PvP battles. But really, the thing we need to have is we also need to have some PvE stuff that needs raids, which means we need to have some PvE stuff that a single party can't take. See where this is leading? Back to the Halls of Balance that's coming out in February, that I want to make sure we have some content in there that you guys can't take. And once we can figure out what that is, then we can actually start getting in some need for raids. All right, but we are at 5:01. This is an unofficial stream. Sorry, reading the comments there. Yes, we know that not everybody's an Uber player and needs to be able to group up on some things. But it is important for us also to figure out what our challenge levels for contents are. But yes, it is having content that 80 groups of level 80 people can get together in larger groups and go take on content is important to us too. But anyways, I think we're just about done here. I need to go make dinner for my family and start my weekend, which will be mostly working on build stuff. And it sounds like our guild's just large enough that we need the raid so we can stay together. And agree. Again, the challenge with the raid stuff has been mostly not about the tech behind it, but mostly about coming up with UI for it. Now that's one is on my short list of things, is expanding the Lua stuff just a little bit so I can give you guys the tools you need so you can make your own replacement party UI stuff. I've already got the bug fixed for party order, which has been one of the annoying things for a lot of players. But I can give you guys that tool, and then basically we can have it so you can do a raid, and you just need to make sure you're using Devil Cult's Lua raid UI if you want to do a raid. And then we're handling the behind the scenes thing, and then that stuff can handle the display portion of it, and you guys can design how that looks, because really the UI is the biggest challenge we have in that, because we really can just go to our code, and I've gone and looked at this. I know it sounds crazy, but there's a place where we have a definition for max number of players in party. That number is set to 8. I can change that to be 32 or 24 or something like that, and we can basically expand it to be a larger party allowed. It's always been the challenge, has always been the how to let you guys see what's going on and handle all the different players in there. But anyways, coming up with a way to do that. But that will be on at least in our Q2, if not Q1. Again, as I work through the Lua stuff and come up with ways that I can do stuff more simply in Lua than we can do in our existing UI system, that may actually come up quicker. But anyways, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm going to try to get this document out. I was saying Monday, I'm going to see about, it'll either be Monday or it'll be Tuesday afternoon, because I may want to talk at the team meeting. Elgarion, you're going to drive down for the team meeting, right?
Yeah, every Wednesday, is it?
Yeah,
Tuesday.
Tuesdays at 10:30, right?
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
Just,
make sure
mileage for the cars.
Plan your schedule. Don't come down here for it. We just sit around and eat tacos and chips and talk through the business of stuff.
We could Skype you in.
Yeah, and honestly, it's most of the stuff we could do. We could honestly just do it in our chat and get almost the same thing out of it. But we need some FaceTime with each other, so it's good to have the other stuff. But we'll have to FaceTime with you over Skype. But anyways, I think we're about done here. You guys have any closing statements you want to make?
The work on the streaming program continues. I know that question didn't come up today, so I just wanted to remind everybody that we are working on it. Justin and I are hoping to get some time again this weekend. There were some family things that got in the way because New Year's, so I didn't get as much done as we wanted to. I'm planning on bringing some stuff up to Chris during the team meeting on Tuesday, so want to get this thing nailed down and solidified so we can move forward.
And for me, guys, just thank you for the warm welcome, and please be a little patient as I get spun up. I'm kind of going to be drinking from the fire hose here before too long, I imagine.
I'm not giving you that much beer money.
What now?
Sorry, I was just thinking drinking from the fire hose of beer.
Oh, yeah, pure beer, right? But in any case, starting Monday morning, my normal stream time, 8 a.m. Central at the latest. I'll have a pretty long stream. I'm not sure how long I'll be streaming and working, or streaming and playing, or I have to log out and actually focus in on some things. But I'll try my best to keep my routine schedule of a start time pretty regular, 8 a.m. Central at the latest.
And we still need to talk about a few things with you. Like, we're planning on just leaving you a normal. We're planning on leaving Elgarion. He's earned everything he has in game. We don't want players to think that now that he's a dev, he's not a real player and didn't earn that stuff. So we were just going to leave him normal and not even dev flag him. And then I was just going to give him. I was going to GM flag him, player GM flag him, and give him some potions for when he does want to do things. But if you see him in game, he earned it. Don't think he cheated like the rest of us devs. Well, in Ravalox, anything he has, he earned too. But don't think he cheated for that stuff. He got it all.
I did the same thing. I made sure I had a different account for the dev thing.
Yeah.
But I'll have the dev account up on this computer, the older streaming rig, and then my account while I'm playing on the stream on this one.
Perfect. But anyways, I came up with a list of about a half dozen other things that we're going to kind of push in his way that'll just help offload us a little bit. Some of it's stuff that like Ravalox been doing, but I think most of the time you're probably just going to get to stream, at least until I get my act together and come up with a real definite list of things you need to be doing. But I think that's probably it. But yeah, next week just stream away until I get time to come up with a clear list for you of things to do.
And I've already been doing a lot of reading on the forums, so I'm going to get to the point at some point where I'm caught up with all the new content on the forums, and as the messages come in, I will have read everything.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't be afraid to ping me if you want. You have any questions about getting things in place or whatever.
All right. Thanks, Ravalox.
I just went through it, so.
All right.
Oh, and I think we forgot a couple of announcements. One is although a few people seemed shocked, we announced officially at the end of the year that we were ending RMT in the forums. I made a long pass on it. That's another one we'll probably have to keep an eye on. But this is one that I just wanted to address. I know we're over time here. I just wanted to address to people. This is one that there's so many different reasons we're doing this. In terms of support, it's an issue for us. In terms of, it taking money out of our pockets, it's a little bit of an issue, but honestly, the RMT stuff is still going to happen. It'll probably just happen in other places. That's not the big reason. Probably the biggest reason is just the appearance of the game. We're trying to make sure and turn the appearance, make sure that people outside of Shroud, when they look at Shroud, it's had a reputation for a long time, and some of it, it's not any one thing. There's never a single thing you can point your finger at, usually when there's a problem with something like reputation. The reputation comes from a lot of different things, but that is one of the contributing factors. As players see this as just like, we're all RMT and support heavy RMT, and we're all about the the money, pay to win, whatever. And so some of it's just, again, trying to slowly turn that appearance and turn that what people think about the game, and that's been a big one. We're not saying you can't RMT, as Stars said all along is absolutely still true, which is we aren't trying to police it because we know we can't. We've seen games with 100 people working on this before, not able to police it. There's always going to be some RMT out there. Just keep it out of our forums. You can do it on your own website. You can do it on somebody else's websites, wherever you want to do it. Just not in our forums. We don't want it to look like we endorse RMT and that we think that this is a good thing. We don't think it's a good thing. It's always been just kind of, we tolerate it. We know we can't police it, so we tolerate it. But anyways, so I went and did a forum cleanup, but that is kind of the reason behind all that. Again, it's not any one reason to do it, but it is part of our trying to turn the sentiment towards the game away from it being an RMT game and pay to win and all this other stuff. Even though anybody who plays the game know that there's almost zero pay to win in the game, and really you're paying for cool looking stuff and decorations. If it were pay to win, I would be winning because I can cheat and make stuff. But players know that I hardly do any PvPing because I get slaughtered so easily by people lower level than me. As for the no trade, that is one of the things that will be tuned back some. Exactly what it will be is still in discussion. We need to have at least a few team meetings about that. But we will probably not be pushing the heavy everything no trade as much, moving away from that. And also, if anything we change, if it was already made no trade, we'll be turning that back as well. That'll automatically become tradable. And again, some of this is just, I think, a little too aggressive on pushing things to be no trade. And then really it's one of those things, as soon as it started hurting the game, until we can fully handle it, there's just too many cases where it was causing problems. It's kind of one of the big things. If it were not causing problems, but if we had just one week where it's just one item after another of, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that, and it causes a problem. Oh, and by the way, you can't put no trade stuff on mannequins, and you can't put songs in the jukebox for the town, and you can't, like, all these things just kept coming up of cases that were not handled well. But anyways, so we will be continuing to look at that. I'm not going to say it's gone absolutely. But yeah, that's another one that we'll be taking a look at. And let's see. That's probably it. We probably should get off so I can go feed my kiddo. I think that's it, I guess. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on the stream tonight. And fans, thank you so much for all the bits. Let's see, did I get everybody? I think I got everybody. We haven't got any new bits here since Ragnar Lodbrok and Balinurk. But again, guys, thank you so much. You can look forward to the list coming out either Monday or Tuesday afternoon. Tuesday is if people say they want to talk about it at the team meeting on Tuesday. Then I will hold it until like Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, so I can get it cleaned up for them. But again, guys, thank you so much, and probably see you on. I probably will not stream Monday, but somebody else might.
Yep, Monday I will be, and also I have leftover prizes from my old streams. So folks streaming Saturday and Sunday morning, expect some in-game mails for Kodos and stuff to give away. Then from me, the leftover prizes from my old stream. So FYI on that. But cool. Lots of goodies coming out.
But I will not stream. I will probably stream Wednesday. Monday, I'm still kind of in the barely getting things done because the wife and kiddo are home for the last day. They both go back to work and school on Tuesday. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. Thanks for all your support. We need to find someone to raid here. Do you guys have anybody? Anybody?
How about
Let's see here.
famines?
Is Famine's on? Oh, we got a lot
Looks
of
like
good
we
people in
got
here.
6 people up, counting us. House of Mangar
Oh.
Theater, Famine, Soul Stormland, Taiki, and Angel.
Oh, man, there's a lot of good people there. Let's see. I've given House of Mangar, he gets a lot of stuff. Does anyone know this Angelus Chack? They're fishing. I don't want to send you guys just to a fishing stream necessarily. He's kind of got the Lord British thing on there. Oh, it looks like that may be a German stream too. Let's see. Yeah, I like all those guys. Why don't we just do a roll for it? Because I don't want to play
Good
favorites.
idea.
If we played favorites, I'd probably always send them to Taiki or somebody like that. We need to do our Taiki. If I know you're watching, you're probably streaming and listening, but we need to do our sing along thing. Twitch sings together, whatever that is. Oh, which also reminds me, in terms of silly things to be done, is I did add the ether amplifiers to the fall as requested, so they can do a PvP dance party if they want to. I don't think that's gonna go well, but we'll see. It could be insane. We'll see how it goes. But anyways, let's do a random roll 5. We got a 1. Oh, Mangar. House of Mangar. I am good with raiding him. Alright, we're queuing up. If you guys want to learn how to play the game, go watch him. He only talks bad about me about 10 times a show or something like that, and I'm totally cool with it because it's always constructive talking bad about me. And he also is one that anytime he says something negative, it's because he wants the game to be better and he wants to fix it. So if you want to learn how to play the game, go talk to him. He is a great streamer and a great guy to learn from. Let's see. I think we're ready. So let's kick it off here. I'll try and get these prizes out. What did I say? I was a year behind. Is that what you guys were saying? Something about that? I'll try to get the prizes out this weekend to you guys that we just won. I know Minerva is going to be on me if I do not. Guys, thank you very much, and let's go raid. Have a great weekend, and Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.